Let's get it. Is the Bitcoin crash over? I think it very well could be. We will go into a few reasons why I think we are at the bottom, or at least very, very close to it. There are a lot of bullish indicators flashing and a lot of really bullish chart patterns unfolding on the daily and 4 hour. We will also be taking a quick look at XRP to see what is going on there in regards to whale activity and price action. So let's go. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Cabin. My name is Tom, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Bitcoin and XRP. We're going to be doing a little bit of price analysis, specifically talking about Bitcoin and if we are at the bottom, and then XRP talking about some price analysis and whale action there as well. So without any further ado, let's jump right in. We're going to start with Bitcoin here like we always do, and PlanB still insists that $98,000 will hit by the end of November. What do you guys think? I personally think this is slim. There's a slimmer and slimmer chance each and every single hour that passes by, really, that we don't start absolutely taking off. But he declared that it is still a possibility by the end of November. He was slightly off with October's mark at 63K, which really wasn't all that far off. We went up above 63K just a couple days later. So this 98K mark may not happen exactly by the end of November, but it is within the realm of possibility still. Very, very slim chance. So like I said, I cannot see it hitting that unless we start going parabolic very, very quickly here, of course. We would need an increase of about 70% over the next 11 days or so in order to get that high. So not super realistic, but can never count it out completely, of course. Other than that bullish outlook, we do have a couple other bullish indicators flashing right now. So fear is back again, and quite often people will start to panic sell around this time, especially if you are newer into the space. But quite often this is a sign that a reversal could be coming very quickly. So it is worth noting that the last time the index was at this level was at the end of September, beginning of October, right when Bitcoin was around $40,000 before shooting up to 65 and eventually 69,000. So when we take a look back at the chart here, last time we were at this level of fear, was right over here, the end of September, right at the beginning of October, when we were in this range, and then we shot up. So here's the indicator. We are now at 34 in the fear zone. We could still come down a little bit lower and get into extreme fear range. But as this article says here, many experts believe that the cryptocurrency being in a state of fear or even extreme fear is actually a very good buying option. And lots of whales, like I mentioned in one of my previous videos this past week, whales are still accumulating. So the third largest Bitcoin whale seems to have the same opinion. He purchased 1,647 Bitcoin at just under 60K. So the whales tend to think that this is a really good buying opportunity. And when you look at this chart in general, like I said, I've talked about this chart before, we've got this on a logarithmic scale. And when we've been at the bottom of this channel, we have been in a very, very good buying territory before we go on a big run up. So last time we were at this bottom of the channel here, we went on a over 100% run to the upside. Then this one here was absolutely massive when we touched the bottom here, ran all the way up to the $40,000-ish level. That was about a 300% rise. And then this touch here was almost 100%, I think. Sorry, not quite 100%. This was about a 75% run to the upside. So every time we have touched the bottom of this channel here, and again, we did so there, this one was about a 65% increase to the upside. So every time we have come to the bottom of this channel, which we are very close to, we have gone on a run to the upside. So do I think this dump is over? I think it's close. I do think we could still potentially come down, like I've mentioned before, to this about 52,800, maybe wick slightly below it to the lowest, low 50s, but that is about as low as I think we would go. Let's go over to the 4-hour chart here, and I will show you a couple things there as well. So we have two potential bullish patterns forming here in one shot. So we've got a descending wedge here, and we are potentially breaking up and out of it. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the breakout, we come down, retest right around $57,000, and then we could be up and off. If we did that, we would need to watch this descending trend line here at the top, this line of resistance here, which is forming a broadening wedge, and then we could potentially come up and meet resistance along this line here. But what are these patterns and what typically happens with them? So typically, like I said, descending wedge is bullish, descending broadening wedge also bullish, potentially seeing that breakout there already. So for a declining or descending wedge, typically what we see is the majority of the time it is a breakout to the upside. So 68% up versus 32% down. And when we look at a descending broadening wedge, typically it breaks to the upside 79% of the time, breaks down 21% of the time. So these two patterns forming over here, potentially, are both bullish. This one has formed the descending wedge, and we are potentially breaking out right now. And then this descending broadening wedge could pan out as well if we come all the way up and then work our way back down potentially. But regardless of what we see here, we should be seeing a breakout, in my opinion, before the end of the month. So I don't think 98,000 is necessarily in the cards, but we would see a breakout fairly soon, and that breakout would likely happen, in my opinion, before the end of the month or the very beginning of December here. Next levels to look out for Bitcoin, in my opinion, based on fib extensions and fib retracements, would be around the $71,000 mark, $82,000, $83,000, and then we've got the 1.618 on. This is this extension that I've drawn out, and this is the retracement 1.618, so between 107 and 115, and then you can see the rest of the numbers on the way up there. This yellow box is still a potential target for the end of the year. That might go slightly into 2022 here, but we will need to wait and see how the price unfolds on the way there. All right, last thing on Bitcoin, and then we'll get into XRP. So I wanted to show you guys something called, there's bullish divergence, and there is something also called bearish divergence. So this was bearish divergence up here when we had a higher high in price, but when we take a look at the RSI, we formed a lower high on the RSI down here. So when we got up here, we were in overbought territory. We had a slightly higher high in price, but a lower high in the RSI. That is called bearish divergence. And then over here, what we would have is something called a bullish divergence happening here. So we have this low and a lower low, but then on the RSI, we have a low here and a higher low right there. So this would be known as bullish divergence. So this is another reason why I do think the bottom is in, or could be very close to being in. And over on the daily, our RSI has come down to cool off a little bit. Stochastic RSI is extremely low. We haven't been back here since before our last big run up right here, from 57 all the way up to 69,000. So this is usually another good one to look at. So like I said in my video the other day, I am in a small long position. I will definitely add to it if we go to these lower levels, or if we, form a nice breakout here, have a nice retest, I will probably add more on the retest. And then again, if we come above this resistance line, retest, I would add a little bit more on that retest potentially as well. Let's talk about XRP. So whales are moving millions of XRP from crypto exchanges following an increase in global outflow. The latest cryptocurrency to experience immense whale activity has been XRP, which saw a single entity withdraw 12.2 million XRP from the exchange. XRP's move is a continuation of a recent trend from increasing centralized outflows that has also happened with Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. For Ethereum, for example, exchange outflows are even at an all-time high right now. Typically, what this means is that whales are moving, like I said, money off of centralized exchanges into cold storage perhaps, and at that point they are not ready to sell at that point. They're moving it from the exchange to a more secure spot and ready to hold for a little while. So when we see inflows back to the exchanges, then we would be looking to potentially start selling a bit because the whales are moving money back to exchanges to sell. If they're moving money off of exchanges into cold storage, then we maybe have a little bit further to go yet. And for myself personally with XRP, I am also in a little bit of a long right now. This is the chart pattern that we have forming. So whenever we were again at the bottom of this upward sloping trend line or near it, we had a nice run up after that, which is where we are sitting right now. This is the daily chart, and the stochastic RSI again is extremely low. The RSI had cooled off a little bit here, and so I did put in a little position at around $1.05 right at the bottom of this triangle pattern forming. And then I do have some on the sidelines still. Again, I have a couple set for if we were to go a little bit lower. I don't know if we will per se, but what I would be looking for here, this wedge is kind of running out of time, so we could see a breakout here, and then on the retest, if we do come back down, I would probably enter some more in there. However, these wedges can also break to the downside, right? So I do have some buy orders a little bit lower here. Ultimately, I'm still bullish on crypto as a whole for the rest of this year and maybe a little bit into 2022 as well. Obviously, day to day, hour by hour, you are going to see fluctuations in price. And at any point in time throughout the rest of this bull run, we can see these 20-25% drops like we did, right? So we just got to be prepared for that. I personally don't go too high of leverage after learning from that experience the last time. I used to go 10 to 20x leverage. Now I stay under 10x leverage for sure, and it's been working out way better for me. I've got way more wiggle room, and the profits have been more consistent each day. My best advice is don't get too caught up in the price action from day to day. If you're trading, obviously, then there is a little bit more risk that you are taking on. If you're not trading, sit back, chill out. I think we've still got a little ways to go in this market, and I know a lot of us on YouTube, TikTok, definitely going to be keeping you guys updated as to when we are personally starting to take some profits, which leads me into this last point here. You probably have seen this, or maybe you have, maybe you haven't. So I've been making my own personal exit strategy or take profit strategy. I've been adjusting the prices slightly as we move along here. So I'll put this in the description below, but you can follow along here. And as things change in the market, then I am updating these slightly as we go along. I will always be updating you guys on what my portfolio is looking like, and then if you have any other coins that you want me to look at, I will put them over here in the Crypto Cabin community. These ones are already on there. The yellow simply means that I've already posted that price prediction to TikTok just to keep myself organized. So that's it for today, everybody. Hopefully you got some value out of this video, and if you did, scroll on down, leave a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and click the notification bell, and select all so you get notified when I post these new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time on the next episode from the Crypto Cabin. Let's get it.